been many people in the media shying away from the WNBA content. A lot of reasons being the mainstream media. You haven't really been seeing a whole lot of WNBA content coming on ESPN. Haven't been seeing it on Fox. Fox completely dismantled WNBA content.
This is crazy. It was something you heard. Contrary to common sense, and to be honest, the WNBA may have hurt their best player, which is bad for the future of the league. Take a look. Sources say that there is a clear trend here. It wasn't just a mistake or messing around with the bag. It looks like they planned to stop the Caitlin Clark hype train. They did something unexpected and on purpose to basically ruin their own success, which shocked their fans. Also, an ESPN leak only confirmed what many other people had already said. It showed a way of doing things that seemed meant to kill excitement instead of spark it. Isn't this a sad truth? It just answers the questions that people have had for months.
Obviously, it was a massive bummer when Caitlin Clark missed as much of the season as she did. It still feels like a massive bummer. I think that image of her with the towel over her head is entrenched in the minds of many. Just sadness, right? It's like the end of Empire Strikes Back or something. But after that, you need Return of the Jedi. And one thing I've been thinking about and seeing a little bit when it comes to the campaigns that have rolled out around Caitlin are how they could really coincide with the comeback. And it's hard for her brand to get any bigger than it already was, right? I mean, you have the Wilson basketball. I can never know which one.
Now think about last year. Caitlin Clark was the most famous athlete of all time. Everybody was amazed by how fast she ran. No one could have seen her amazing rise coming, right? But let's talk about it. The major networks, especially ESPN and Fox, didn't seem to be interested in WNBA coverage when she joined the league. Also, Fox really did stop all of their WNBA coverage. That was a strange choice, especially considering how many more views Clark was getting. The sudden loss brought up the first big questions. Why were they ignoring the best player in the league?
And as of right now, it's looking real bad, man. And I just hate this for Caitlin Clark, but something really struck my mind. Did the WNBA purposely kind of want to destroy the Caitlin Clark hype? I've been speaking on this quite time and time again. A lot of people have been kind of scared to talk about it. It's no secret that the WNBA, Allura, and the whole, obsession of it all is just starting to die down. To me, I noticed it on Twitter first. A lot of big name Twitter people weren't big no more. You know what I'm saying? They weren't getting all them retweets. They weren't getting all them hearts on their Twitter, and eventually they quit tweeting.
And it wasn't just a vague feeling that the WNBA wasn't interested. It showed up in real physical ways. The league just wasn't ready for the kind of change Clark brought. Millions of views, private jets, and fancy hotel rooms, everything changed in just a few weeks after she got there. The WNBA, on the other hand, couldn't or wouldn't change. The league seemed totally caught off guard when it came to welcoming this big change. It was almost like they didn't like the sudden attention. That's when things went wrong.
Right. It's like the end of Empire Strikes Back or something. But after that, you need Return of the Jedi. And one thing I've been thinking about and seeing a little bit when it comes to the campaigns that have rolled out around Caitlin are how they could really coincide with the comeback. And it's hard for her brand to get any bigger than it already was, right? I mean, you have the Wilson basketball. I can never know which way to point. And everything else that was already out there in the universe. But people have been waiting forever for the Nike announcement. I mean, it became a topic of conversation. Where's the Nike stuff? Where's the Nike stuff? And some of it's out there.
The worst proof against her was shown on the court even in her early games. Caitlin Clark was getting pounded absolutely badly by rivals. These weren't just simple fouls, right? It felt like they were attacking me all the time, and no one was doing anything about it. It's crazy that Kathy Engelbert, the commissioner of the WNBA, did nothing. That lack of action sent a very clear message. It basically let all of that physical bullying happen, which made fans wonder why the league's leaders weren't standing up for anyone. For many regular fans, it just left a bad taste in their mouths.
I believe the WNBA wanted this to happen. They never wanted the attention of Caitlin Clark. They never wanted any of this because they just simply was not prepared for it. I just have to be honest with you guys. I don't think the WNBA was prepared for the catalyst that came with Caitlin Clark. And hell, I'm starting to believe Caitlin Clark wasn't even prepared for it. No one could have predicted how largely, loved and, sought after Caitlin Clark was going to be coming into this league. No one could have predicted all of the millions of views that the games was going to garner, the charter flights that got switched up, the, private hotel rooms, everything pretty much changed within 2 weeks of Caitlin.
Also, there was a lot of public criticism from inside the league. Remember when the good player, Aaliyah Boston, said Caitlin Clark should thank the WNBA just for having a league to play in? That remark was strange, right? It wasn't just one case either. In some WNBA groups, it seemed to be part of a bigger story that didn't mention Clark's impact at all. People who said things like this made it seem like the league wasn't thankful for its good luck, but angry about it.
And everything else that was already out there in the universe. But people have been waiting forever for the Nike announcement. I mean, it became a topic of conversation. Where's the Nike stuff? Where's the Nike stuff? And some of it's out there. I got this as Dick's Sporting Goods, which we'll get to in a second. But when that Nike signature shoe hits, that's going to be a moment. I mean, that can go on. She's been wearing the Kobe's for the longest time, and that's already made an imprint. When it is her sneaker, that's going to go crazy. Her brand is about to go crazy. And you see that with Dick's Sporting Goods. Like I mentioned there before, they dropped this ad.
Listen, messing around with the bags doesn't look like an accident. It looks like the plan was made ahead of time. By not taking full responsibility for Clark's safety and image, the WNBA hurt the best thing that could have happened to their league. By letting all of these attacks happen so often and not protecting its biggest star, they actively turned off a lot of casual fans. Basketball fans who really care might stay, but a lot of people who just want to watch have already left. And that hole will be filled by the league this season.
Her approach into the WNBA, and she was viciously attacked by players within the first 2-3 games she was allowed to play in. WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelberg did nothing. Then we just heard months later from Fisa Collier saying that Caitlin Clark needs to thank the WNBA for even having a league so she can play in. It's just disgusting. And if fumbling a bag or fumbling a ball ever was a person, you have to point it to WNBA. The WNBA ultimately ruined the best thing that ever happened for their league, bro.
Even the goods tell a story of being ignored. People didn't really want those Wilson basketballs with Clark's name on them. Also, those Top Shot cards used to be worth a lot more than $200,000. Now they're worth a lot less. Clark is an athlete who often sells out, but that Nike gear just sat there. The unfriendly and unsupportive atmosphere in the WNBA at the start had a direct effect on appeal, as shown by all of these numbers. It's clear that the league wasn't trying to take advantage of her fame.
Shoe hits, that's going to be a moment. I mean, that can go on. She's been wearing the Kobe's for the longest time, and that's already made an imprint. When it is her sneaker, that's going to go crazy. Her brand is about to go crazy. And you see that with Dick's Sporting Goods. Like I mentioned there before, they dropped this ad, and how many likes does this sucker have on Instagram? I looked at it like after an hour, it had 20,000 likes or something ridiculous. That's the Caitlin Clark's fan base. I never really seen anything like it, to be quite honest. And this was the campaign. It was it's called
Another terrible blow was the decision to keep Clark off the game for good. The ball was taken from Caitlin Clark by her teachers, especially Stephanie White, in a strange way. They made her play bad. Her famous logo threes, the shots that drew millions of fans and made her game famous, were almost gone. This was just a terrible recipe for disaster. Clark couldn't really get into her flow because of it. It stifled her natural talent and turned off the fans who had come to watch her unique way of play.
The NBA ultimately ruined the best thing that ever happened for their league, bro. Just not taking full responsibility for Caitlin Clark, allowing all these assaults, And quite frankly, y'all put a distaste in the casual fan mouth. See, there's a lot of regular basketball fans that's going to continue to watch Caitlin Clark. But I'm telling you right now, there is a lot of casual fans that has turned their TVs off. And you're going to feel it this year. This is going to be the season. Caitlin Clark has to come out and ball out. Me personally, knowing what I know now and seeing how everything turned out, I truly believe Caitlin Clark.
So all of this obvious sabotage had a terrible effect right away. The whole WNBA atmosphere, which used to be very exciting, has now dropped dramatically. But here's something even stranger. Some people who work for the WNBA media seemed happy about the drop in watchers. That's a strange response, right? All of the online attacks on Clark painted a picture of a league that seemed happy to burn its own bridges and ignore the fans who could have really helped it reach new heights.
Dick's Sporting Goods, like I mentioned there before, they dropped this ad. And how many likes does this sucker have on Instagram? I looked at it like after an hour, it had 20,000 likes or something ridiculous. That's the Caitlin Clark's fan base. I never really seen anything like it, to be quite honest. And this was the campaign. It was it's called Caitlin's Court, right? And you see some workout footage, some of that strength footage. Though, did she overtrain in the off season? We don't know. The Polaroids, cool looking photos, Caitlin's Court, as it says there. And you see the Fever commenting on it, and KK Timpson. And
also, Stephen A. Smith has stated that the business will fail. He said that Caitlin Clark was the league's cash cow or main source of income. He said that when she plays, the show's numbers, sales, and popularity all go up. Things fall apart when she's not on the court, though. He even brought up the fact that numbers dropped 36% over the WNBA All-Star Weekend. And that was just a few weeks before he said those things. It shows how Clark had unmatched drawing power and how the league failed to use it to their advantage. They just went to war instead.
Now, and seeing how everything turned out, I truly believe Caitlin Clark should have did Unrivaled. Caitlin Clark should have played in Unrivaled. She should have sucked up her pride, played in the league, and saved her genre. The WNBA is her genre. Y'all don't think Caitlin Clark sees the Wilson basketball's not selling out? Y'all don't think Caitlin Clark team sees those top cars that was going for $200,000 not going for that no more? And most definitely, y'all don't see that Nike merchandise selling out? I believe this is going to be the season that we see a tremendous shift in the Caitlin Clark hype. Now, I'm not...
The idea of this decline wasn't just a guess either. Clark's playing time made this very clear. She didn't miss a single game last year. It's crazy that she missed 17 games this year. Now, they say it was injuries, but when you think about how she was constantly getting hit on the game with no one stopping her, you have to wonder if those injuries were just the result of the WNBA's hands-off policy. For a guy whose whole brand is basketball, this is a terrible loss. And it really hurt her ability to perform and get people to watch.
I never really seen anything like it, to be quite honest. And this was the campaign. It was it's called Caitlin's Court, right? And you see some workout footage, some of that strength footage. Though, did she overtrain in the off season? We don't know. The Polaroids, cool looking photos, Caitlin's Court, as it says there. And you see the Fever commenting on it, and KK Timpson, and I think I saw Chloe Bibby just there a second ago. So Caitlin's Court, what does that mean to me? I mean, it kind of feels like she might have her own section of the store. Because if you go into Dick's Sporting Goods, sometimes The Rock has his...
Right now, Stephanie White is the person whose success the WNBA really depends on. This new era and fresh excitement will end if White doesn't let Caitlin Clark really take over. If she doesn't let her full Titan shine when she has the ball. Clark can't just play. To save the game, she needs to win MVP in 2026. Without a doubt, the WNBA's future depends on letting its biggest star shine and being the force that fans expect to see. Without a question, this is the last chance for the league's future.
At some point, we have to look and see exactly what went wrong. And what went wrong was the WNBA allowing Caitlin Clark to be visually attacked, Indiana Fever allowing Stephanie White to take the ball out of Caitlin Clark's hands, putting her off the ball. She never really got going this season. She had maybe had one or two standout games. Took away the logo threes. It was just an ugly recipe for disaster. And you're looking up to like now. I mean, guys, like, the WNBA genre is so bad, and the reporters seem so happy about this. I mean, they seem like hella happy that no one's watching anymore.
Not only will the WNBA's money problems affect the games, but they will also affect the whole company. Ticket and merchandise sales at games are already expected to take a big hit, especially after the first 2 weeks when everyone gets used to it. There might be a big rush at the beginning, but fans will lose interest and loyalty over time if Clark isn't given the chance to really shine. It's not just about one player. It's about how much money a whole league can make.
To me, I mean, it kind of feels like she might have her own section of the store. Because if you go into Dick's Sporting Goods, sometimes The Rock has his merchandise, and I think Steph Curry has some Under Armour stuff sequestered over on its own, and that shows you the level and the stature and the way people are framing her and marketing her. And that is ultimately, I think, what we're going to see line up nicely. Assuming, obviously, she needs to be healthy, and obviously Caitlin needs to be playing basketball again. But it is setting up for that year 3 moment. Even Michael Jordan.
But this is where things go crazy. Even with all of these huge problems and what many people see as efforts to stop her, Caitlin Clark's brand is doing more than just staying alive. Even though she missed the whole season, she's on track to make a big return. The scene for her return of the Jedi moment is fully set. Her business, which is already very big, is going to get even bigger. It shows how strong she is, which the WNBA may not have realized when they tried to control her tail. Her followers are ready for her to take back control. They have everything ready for her return of the Jedi moment. Interview 15, also, you can feel the excitement around her Nike reveal. Her fans beg for her one-of-a-kind shoe. Clark has already made a big mark by wearing Coves, but it'll be even better when her own sneaker comes out. This financial success, which is all thanks to her loyal fans, is very different from the beginning when the WNBA failed to take advantage of her market potential. Her own business is doing well on its own, which shows how appealing she is.
And like, what's crazy is that they're still attacking Caitlin Clark online. Now, this is what Stephen A. Smith said in a podcast, man. And now this is from some time ago, but I want you guys to listen to what he's saying here, because what Stephen A. Smith is saying here resonate till today. Listen to him.
Caitlin Clark is the cash cow. She is box office. When she plays, the ratings go up, revenue goes up, interest goes up. When she doesn't play, it plummets. 36% drop in the ratings for All-Star Weekend for the WNBA a few weeks ago.
Assuming, obviously, she needs to be healthy, and obviously Caitlin needs to be playing basketball again. But it is setting up for that year 3 moment. Even Michael Jordan missed a bunch of time in his second year. People have drawn those parallels before. He did come back for the playoffs that year. Unfortunately, Caitlin wasn't able to come back for the playoffs this year. But there are some parallels there, and that anticipation is going to just, be at a fever pitch, I suppose I should say. And it's going to be hard to keep those things on the shelves, especially if she's able to get back to playing basketball the way we've all become.
And here's something cool. Dick's Sporting Goods has already made a really successful campaign called Caitlin's Court. It has great workout videos and cool pictures. It only took an hour for that ad to get over 20,000 likes on Instagram. Just goes to show how dedicated her fans are. The name of her marketing campaign makes it sound like she might have her own place in stores, like The Rock or Steph Curry. Actually, that just shows that the WNBA has no power over her huge fame right now. This new marketing effort is meant to set her up for a big moment in year 3, like when Michael Jordan came back after missing time in his second season. At this point, people are more excited than ever that Clark will get better and fully dominate. People who like her want to see her play like she used to, and they'll buy all of her stuff as soon as she gets back on the court and beats all of her old problems. What the WNBA is said to have done to stop Caitlin Clark's hype train is now public knowledge. It was a shocking turn in sports history, but her brand's undeniable power, along with the smart moves her team and sponsors have made, point to a strong return. The big question is whether the WNBA can now let go of its past and accept the future it fought so hard to avoid. Will Caitlin Clark's amazing journey continue despite what the league did, changing women's basketball forever? Time will tell.